Welcome to Sight and Sound, episode 7. We have not one, but 2 guests for our episode tonight. And I wanted to bring a very special friend and bluesman from my hometown. He's a hometown hero from Arcadia, Mr. Pat O'Brien. How are you, Pat?
Good.
Good to see you. It's always a pleasure playing music with you. You know, I'm going to tell you this, and I've told you this many times before, but when I was in high school, you were a legend in my hometown. I actually first learned about you from a party that somebody videotaped you playing, and you were playing behind your head. You were doing all the Stevie Ray Vaughan things. You were doing all the bluesman things, the Lightning Hopkins things. And I just was so enamored that there was somebody in my hometown that was doing this and playing this style of music. I know you originally come from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right? And you came all the way out to California, and you've been playing this music and this style of music with so much soul. And I just wanted to ask you, what keeps you driven as a player and a musician?
Gambling debts.
That's one way to do it.
It's just, it's basically, secret of life, have fun, make money. So if you can play music and manage to squeak by with it, that's you win, kind of the deal.
You also have a prized possession of some really cool amps and guitars. Do you have like a favorite guitar or amp that you just always know is one of your prized sounds or pieces that you love to use for gigs?
Yeah, I got a 55 Tweed Tremolux. That's real cool. For a tweed tone. Yeah. And then I use a 64 Deluxe Reverb for clean.
Wow. So you use them together?
Yeah, so it's like one or the other. You get like 2 flavors, and then when it needs to be stupid loud, you get both.
Now, I know you and I share our passion for Stevie Ray Vaughan. He's one of our favorite guitarists and musicians. What was the first moment you ever heard an album or saw him play on a video? What was the first time you ever saw him?
I guess the first thing I heard was I remember one time I had radio was on, right? And I'm hearing, it sounds real, but it's like, I'm going, damn, that's the best live Hendrix I've ever heard. Wait a minute. That's got to be that guy from Texas I heard something about. You know what I mean? And then they're being Stevie Ray.
And so you told me something really cool when we had a recording session. You said one of your favorite live shows was seeing Albert Collins live. And you said you were right near him, and it was like one of the moments where you just couldn't believe.
It was actually Albert King.
Albert King. Oh, that's right. Albert King.
It was like one of those magic nights, where it was ridiculous, And Albert's such a trip, he's like Gary Moore said. You remember the time he did Albert, Gary Moore? So how was it playing with Albert? He goes, very tutorial. So that guy should have been a diplomat. But no, Albert runs the mix. Would run the mix from the stage, right? Now he'd be like playing trumpet, back up. Literally, and just every couple, he'd sing a couple lines, and he's directing the sound from his viewpoint, right?
Right.
And is very sparsely there. So I'm literally sitting on the stage, leaning on the monitor, just, I'm very comfortable. He's right there, right? And in my buddy, Rumi, who hit me, he said, Albert King is playing, we got to go see him. And so the two of us are there, and so Albert, and I'm going, in my mind, I'm thinking, he didn't do this all night, is he? Yeah, but it went away. It just,
wow.
It was like magic, And then to top it off, it's like real sparse. But he sees us. He said, I got blood flow for you guys. It was like,
wow.
And it was like, so then it was a deal where like band plays, band plays, he's come back for a second show, right? So we're talking to him, during the break, because Rumi knew him, right? So we're shaking hands. Hand comes off to my wrist.
Really? His hands were that big?
He was a big man, Yeah.
That's probably how he got the tone.
Don't know. I mean, he was a kind of a force of nature. You know what I mean? I guess, he just...
What was the moment of Zen that made you want to become a guitar player?
That's a tough one. Probably seeing the Beatles as a little kid going, hey, I look good.
Right. And then it made you want to write songs and...
You just started doing that after a while of playing. Right. You know what I mean? It just starts to go and happen. It did.
And do you have like a favorite, style of music that you love to kind of write in? I know you do some gypsy stuff, you do some blues stuff. You kind of have this well-versed style when it comes to guitar.
I guess I don't really have a favorite. There's just so many
There's
other
so
neat
much.
things, and then something will take shape and it'll lean this way.
Right.
And something else will be like, that'd be good for so-and-so. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, it's kind of all the above's cool.
What I love too is that you and I are always up super late practicing, and you'll send me a YouTube video via email of some new player, and then I'm sending you one back, and it's just like, man, it's been such a pleasure to have this kind of friendship with you and just kind of like learn about all of this music and all these great players with you. Who do you think was one of your first major inspirations in the blues realm? Was it Clapton? Was it Albert King? Was it B.B. King?
Maybe BB.
Okay.
I mean, I remember having an 8-track.
Right.
Live
at the Regal, was that the record?
No, what the heck was that? I can't remember now. It wasn't Live at the Regal, though. It was something else, and it was very cool. But yeah, 8-track. Went back.
I remember seeing BB for the first time at House of Blues, and it was like one of those moments you just never forget. And every note he played was just unbelievable. And I remember hearing Live at the Regal, and it just kind of changed it changed the energy and color in the room. And you're one of those players for me, because when I was in high school and I saw you play, and I would see you play weddings and parties, I was so kind of like blown away by what you could do on the guitar that I was so kind of scared to talk to you. But as soon as I started a blues trio, I wanted to kind of meet you face to face, have a connection with you, and share in blues music. Today was such a special experience for me, because not only are you from my hometown and you are a hometown legend, but we got to play music with a bluesman from Arkansas, with John Fogerty's keyboardist, with all these musicians and players that I've been playing with for years. And everybody had this common goal to just make something cool. What keeps you inspired to do that as a musician and a songwriter?
Just fun to do.
That's a good point. Does it ever get trying in the sense of finding new inspiration, or do you just feel like it's endless and you're just able to kind of channel into something to, find that groove, that infinite, place where we can, be inspired to write or play?
I don't know. That's kind of the easy part. Is all the logistics part. That's the tough part. How far is the drive? What you know what I mean? But that other part is like luckily a given. That's no worries there.
Do you ever have those moments? You do something really cool that not many people I've ever seen play do. It's you kind of do a comping thing on guitar, and you comp with harmonica too. How did you come up with that?
I thought it would be a real cool thing to do. Playing both.
Yeah.
And I was lucky at that time. About 17 or something, and I had this gig. I had this lounge gig. Right. It was 3 nights a week. And in 1 week, it would pay for my expenses for the whole month. So I was able to play like 6 to 8 hours a day. Wow. For the rest of the rest of the time. So I got to put in some time, and then then you get to mess around with doing harmonies and unison things, and then taking turns backing up the other instrument.
Right.
So it was basically having a lot of time.
One of the coolest things that I was able to experience with you was when I released my first record as a blues trio artist. I had you play on Crossroads, and I had you come to the studio, and we were just sharing in the love of music. And then when the Crossroads tour came, we saw so many legends. We saw Eric Clapton with Stevie Wonder, Santana, Eric Gales, Kingfish, Gary Clark Jr. It was such an incredible experience to share that with you. But are there any new players like that just kind of blow your mind when you hear them?
A couple of the ultra flashy younger players that not that I live there, but it's just an astonishing achievement.
Right.
The Mateo, I forgot his last name.
Mancuso, yep.
Oh,
he's a beast. He's a beast.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
And then with the Henson.
Yep.
With
the tattoos?
Yeah. That's not where I live, but it's just the accomplishment. It's just amazing,
Well, you've really found a sound with what you play and how you play. What drives you to kind of still dig for that sound now?
I probably just that it's like, you try different stuff along the way, and then you kind of lean into like, so that you end up with like, I use this most of the time, with like these 2 amps and these 3 guitars, I can say most of what I need to say, and so that's fun, and then you get to, if you have a bad guitar, Jones, you get to check out different ones. You know what I mean?
Right.
See what this will do that. And and then you just have too many guitars. But that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it?
Well, let's hope, because I always have my eyes on new guitars, and I want it to stop. But you're one of the inspirations. As soon as I talk to you about how many guitars and amps you've got, I'm like, oh, I'm okay.
There's my justification, honey. Look, he's got 40.
Yes.
No, I'm nowhere. I'm not even close. No, we're okay.
Are you looking at any new guitars or amps currently?
No. Not really. I mean, it kind of got more than me.
Right.
You could, okay, how much for that 52, Telly?
Right.
Yeah, you could always go crazy. But no, I'm kind of okay,
Well, I want to personally thank you for inspiring me for 30 years, and you've inspired so many people to become musicians in my hometown, and you are a staple of my hometown. And I just want to say it's been so great to be such good friends with you now and to play music with you, and I look forward to many more opportunities. Thank you for being a guest on Sight and Sound.
All right, and I got that 20 I owe you too.
We'll be back with more performances with Pat O'Brien, Larry McRae, and the rest of the crew, so stay tuned.